Hello there. We are here to imagine Vibri from Vib-Ribbon joining the Smash roster. Sure, she may be an energetic, fun-loving, bubbly, and cute bunny rabbit, but that won't stop her from having a fun time kicking ass in Smash. If you think there isn't enough to pull from to make a Smash moveset for her, I'm hoping I can prove you entirely wrong with this video. And you might be wondering how Vibri would look in Smash, given that she's a white wireframe bunny. You might think she'd barely even be visible, especially on bright white stages. Well, to compensate for that, I'm making it so that Vibri is always colored in with the color black, instead of just solely being a transparent wireframe. I realize that canonically she's probably made up of just her wireframe, but I think it's fair to color her in black, given that is how she always looks in the game anyways, and it will make it so that you can actually, see her clearly when playing. Let's see this lovely musical bunny put up a fight. She has 2 jumps, cannot wall jump or wall cling, and can crawl. She'll be very lightweight, in fact she'd be one of the lightest in the game, right above Jigglypuff. For the look of her first jump, I want to reference the really neat jump animation that Vibri has when you press the L button in her game. Her second jump has a little backflip animation, not unlike the animation that plays when you press the R button in her game. But I would say it's more so a reference to the cool little backflip she does sometimes at the peak of her jumps in her sequel game, Vib-Ribbon. When you crouch and crawl with her, she actually turns into her frog form, as that form already kinda looks like it's crawling around, and I wanted to take this opportunity to reference it. Her jab would be a 3-hit combo. The first 2 hits would have Vibri swing her arms forward while holding her drum mallets that she uses to play a drum in Vib-Ribbon. The third hit would have her pull out the cymbals that she also uses there and clap it in their face, which would actually do a lot of knockback and even be a decent kill option at Hypersense. This is not the last time you'll be seeing the drum mallets and cymbals though, more on that later. Her forward tilt will have her simply stretch out her arm and swing it from high to low, which would have quite some range. Vibri has definitely shown her limbs to be rather extendable, and so this makes use of that. Her down tilt has her turn into her worm form, and has her do just a little quick headbutt forwards. Okay, one fun thing I like about this one is how if you go from standing to crouching to doing a down tilt, you're slowly downgrading her through her forms, not unlike when you're playing rather poorly in Vib-Ribbon. I don't know why I just really like that. Her up tilt would have her turn into her frog form and kick her 2 legs upwards. This references the animation that plays when you press the cross button while in her frog form in Vib-Ribbon. Her dash attack just has her simply do a roll forwards. This references what it looks like when you press the cross button in her regular form, which is used to roll over the spikes obstacle. It's very comparable to Donkey Kong's dash attack, for example. Her forward smash would have her spawn one of the block obstacles from her game and slam it forwards into any poor foe that may be standing in front of her. The block eventually goes down and just disappears after traveling forwards for just a second, so it doesn't really go very far. Her up smash would have her spawn one of the wavy spikes obstacles from her game on the floor in front of her, and then the spikes would stretch out a little bit, sending any opponent in front of her flying upwards with a deadly stab. Her down smash has her spread her legs and do the splits while looking at the camera. This isn't really a solid reference to anything she does in games, however it's rather similar to this art of her you can see in the official instruction manual for her game. It'd look a lot like that. Her neutral air will have her turn into her worm form and spin in a circle. She does exactly this when pressing the R button as her worm form in the game. Her forward air will have her become Fairy Princess Vibri and stick one arm out and swing it from low to high, ending with having one arm up in the air and the other by her side, kind of like a Superman pose. Just feels like a fun pose that Vibri would totally strike in her princess form, so I think it'd be super fitting. Her back air would have her do a drop kick behind herself, not unlike Mario's back air, except that during this she would swing her legs from high to low to hit the opponent. It can actually spike the opponent if it hits at a sweet spot right as she is swinging her legs down. But even without the spike, this move does a lot of knockback and can land a kill pretty well. Overall, I would actually describe it as being similar to Lucas's back air. Her down air would have her stretch her legs downwards a considerable amount and do like a stomp. And this would hit hard. It references how Vibri stretches out her legs quite a bit when you walk over pits by pressing down on the D-pad in her game. It's very comparable to moves like Dr. Mario's down air or Ganondorf's down air, and just like those moves it can spike. It would however have a notable amount of starting lag due to the time it takes to stretch out her legs. This would also typically not be able to be done effectively out of a short hop due to not having the room to stretch her legs out. However, you can do it out of a short hop on a platform, and it will go through the platform. This could totally take opponents below you quite off guard. Her up air would have her poke her head upwards a little bit and use her ears as kind of helicopter blades. It would be a multi-hit with the last hit doing the most knockback, but if you want maximum damage, you'd want to land all of the hits if possible. I know this sounds kinda silly, but it's a direct reference to one of the cute victory animations in Vib-Ribbon, in which she is simply so happy that she flies away using her ears. It's pretty great. Vibri would grab opponents with one arm and pummel by simply slapping them across the face with the other. Her forward throw would have her launch her opponent forwards by rolling into them, similar to her dash attack. This however does minimal knockback, even less than her actual dash attack does. Her back throw would have her turn into her fairy princess form and spin in place for a second before throwing the opponent backwards. This references the spin Vibri does in her fairy princess form when you press the cross button. Her down throw would have her spawn a wavy spiked obstacle right below her and throw her opponent into it. Her up throw would have her toss her opponent overhead and use her helicopter ear blade attack on them. This would end with a strong hit that sends them upwards. I would say that her specials really focus on giving her quite a lot of stage control, and you'll see why in just a bit. Starting with her neutral special, her one attack that actually finally incorporates the rhythm aspect from her game. Her neutral special would have her pull out the small drum that she plays during the victory sequence after you beat a level in Vib-Ripple. You can just spam the button or hold it down to do a drum roll, which will create a small shockwave around Vibri. Think like Donkey Kong's down B. If you want to more effectively use this move, however, you would have to play it by tapping the special button in a certain rhythm. You'd want to tap your button to this rhythm that should sound something like this. And did you hear those cymbals? By tapping out this rhythm, you'll get Vibri to occasionally pull out her cymbals and smash them together, creating the biggest shockwave that has more range, damage, and knockback than the default small shockwave. As a visual indicator of the wanted rhythm, anytime her drum is out, a little spark of light will show up on her drum every beat that the button should be tapped to. To make yet another Donkey Kong comparison, I'd compare this move to Donkey Kong's Final Smash in Brawl and Smash 4, and that is the most deadly when you're playing it to the correct rhythm. Her side special references a move that I actually referenced earlier for her back throw, where she does a spin to avoid the spiked obstacle in her fairy princess form. With her side special, she becomes Fairy Princess Vibri and can charge up a very speedy spin attack, which will allow her to spin and slide across the stage at high speeds. The more you charge it, the faster it can go and the longer it will last, with the maximum charge sending Vibri across the stage at incredibly fast speeds for more than a couple seconds. Vibri can actually hold the charge indefinitely, but the power maxes out after just a couple of seconds. The charge can also be easily cancelled by just shielding, so you don't have to commit to using the move just because you've charged it up. This can bait opponents and be rather annoying. And despite this special being slippery and very fast, you'll still be able to fully control her and move her around as she is spinning, so don't worry. I would compare this move to like Sonic's Spin Dash with its incredible speed, and also the fact that you'll fall very fast if you attempt to use this off stage, so I wouldn't recommend that. Overall, think of this move as Vibri activating her inner Beyblade. Okay, so her down special references the poop creatures from Vib-Ripple. They're called Boonchies. I know, nobody likes them, but I gotta pull from what I can, and I think this will incorporate into her moveset nicely. By pressing down special, Vibri bends over and puts a Boom-Chi on the ground. A Boom-Chi is a form of Boonchies that stays in one place and explodes after a 3-second countdown. The explosion also creates a shockwave that has to be jumped over. The shockwave won't travel quite as far as it does in Vib-Ripple, but it will still travel a decent length across the stage. The shockwave will do an alright amount of knockback and a bit of damage, but the true deadly knockback and damage will only occur if the opponent is standing right next to the Boom-Chi as it blows out. Only one Boom-Chi can be placed at a time, and thankfully they won't reform after they've exploded. Her up special will spawn a small drum right below her, and she'll jump off of it and fly upwards. She won't enter freefall and will still be able to attack after using it. Similar to Banjo and Kazooie's up special, it can be charged, and the more you charge it, the higher Vibri will fly off of the drum. And just like Sonic Springs or Banjo's platform, the drum will fall from under Vibri. This means it could be used to annoy opponents below you, and especially be a decent edge-guarding tool. The drum will disappear if it hits a platform or floor though. Obviously this up special is a reference to Vib-Ripple as a whole, but especially the part in the opening intro where she jumps off of the small drums. She is simply having the time of her life. And now you can see why I mentioned her specials giving her really good stage control. Like, holy moly. The Boom Cheese can especially manipulate the positions of opponents, not to mention Vibri having the ability to travel at incredibly fast speeds across the stage with her side B, and act as a Beyblade for multiple seconds. And then there's also the neutral special that can send shockwaves nearly halfway across the stage if you use it properly. Wow. Anyways, on to that. Vibri's final smash will have her charge forwards as Fairy Princess Vibri, with her bending over slightly and one arm facing diagonally upwards and another arm just by her side, once again a pseudo Superman pose. If Vibri catches an opponent while doing this charge, the screen turns dark and they are sent to the Vib-Ribbon, which is where they get a whole bunch of obstacles sent towards them, all of which they are unable to dodge. All while the wonderful and iconic chorus of overflowing emotions from the Vib-Ribbon soundtrack plays. It's just wonderful. When it comes to the other stuff for her, like her alternate costumes for example, I honestly think it would just be like a collection of simple color swaps. Like literally just changing the color of her wireframe and that being it. The reason why I don't think more complex color swaps would happen is because I'm not sure if it would look right. Vibri has never been a character to have multiple colors on her at once. It would just look strange. Like for example, if you wanted to make Vibri's ears blue, but the rest of her body another color, I just don't think it would work. I don't know if that's just me though. And because of how bare bones the concept of a simple color swap that just changes her wireframe color is, I won't go over all the possibilities myself, literally just any 8 colors could work. I do think it would be a guarantee, however, that one of the alt costumes would turn Vibri into the bright purple/pink color that she rocks in Vib-Ribbon. And when it comes to victory screens, Vib-Ribbon has already kind of got that covered with the lovely win and high score screens that you see in the game, and some of those can totally be remade to work as Smash victory screens, and I would love that. For her taunts, her first can have her do the cute little dance she does in this Vib-Ribbon commercial. Except that she won't get cut off by getting hurt by an obstacle. Ow. Her second taunt can have her doing the sad cry that she does in one of the game over screens. And her last taunt can once again reference another game over screen in which Vibri lays down while claiming that she can't go on, only to quickly get up and let everyone know that she's simply joking. And that does it. I'm not sure how many other Smash movesets I try to make up, if any, but this was very fun to do. Vibri is one of my favorite characters, and I was pretty sad when, as far as I could tell, nobody else had designed a full Smash moveset for her, so I simply had to do it myself. It took a bit of thinking to get a full moveset going for her, but I hope I was able to prove anybody wrong who assumed there wouldn't be enough content to pull from to make a full Smash moveset. There totally is. Also, I do want to say, if somebody wants to use any, or all of the ideas for this moveset in a Smash fan game or mod or anything of that sort, I would love to see that. You can go ahead. Just credit me. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.